Welcome back to the Walking David podcast. I'm your host, David Grayson. Today's topics. We're going to be discussing how Negan is better as a villain as opposed to a hero, and also I'm going to break down the Daryl Dixon trailer. You may have noticed I got my hair cut. You like? Well, truth be told, it's already too late. So if you don't like it, just wait 6 months and pretend like it never happened. So, Negan. We were discussing on TikTok how Negan is far better as a villain than he is a hero, and I think that's just because as a villain, he's far more relatable. You know what I mean? A lot of heroes sometimes are almost these unattainable figures. You know what I mean? Like a Superman, like there's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have any problems. And so it gets a little stale. But villains, we can often see ourselves in villains way, way easier. We can all imagine getting to this terrible place and then making mistakes and then paying for those bad decisions dearly, as most of the villains do. Negan as a villain is just far more compelling to watch. He's more realistic to how people would be in this world. And villains, they're always very charming and they're always very relatable because there's something sort of tied to logic and reason in their madness. You know what I mean? There's always a method to their madness. That's why we love villains so damn much. Now, you can say you hate him or you can say you love to hate him. Whatever it may be, he's compelling television. In all honesty, the shows wouldn't be what they are without good villains. I'm getting too existential about this. If you want my honest opinion, Negan was always far better as a villain. Okay? When you tried to kind of make him this weakened guy and you took away the cult of personality and everything like that, it just wasn't nearly as interesting. There were moments of it being interesting, but a lot of those moments came from like his relationship with Judith because it's an unlikely pair. It's kind of like the odd couple. You know what I mean? You got the old curmudgeon-y guy who was considered to be the biggest bad in Walking Dead history, talking with the potential future of the Walking Dead legacy. So that's what made that relationship super, super interesting, especially the fact that it was kind of a father-daughter or uncle-niece kind of dynamic between the two of them. That would have been even better, I think, had he had stayed a villain. Now, I know at the time in which they were developing the Negan and Judith relationship, he was sort of still hinting at being a villain, but in that same season, like a few episodes later, he's completely broken, and seeing him all like blubbery and whimpering and all that stuff, it just, it wasn't my bag. I didn't really dig that. I didn't think that was the wisest decision. I think even if we didn't like Negan necessarily as a villain, we understood him a lot more. And when you understand how characters think, it helps you kind of fill in the gaps of the story. So you don't see exactly what Negan says in a meeting, but you could imagine what he might say at a meeting because you understand how he thinks. But when you aren't sure if he's good or bad or what he's thinking, then you're not really sure what the hell they even talk about behind closed doors. I feel like trying to make Negan a hero, it isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it has to be wrapped up quickly. You know what I mean? Usually, I find the most compelling villains are people who are villains right up until a certain point, and then all of a sudden there's a character change. There's an incident, an inciting incident, just like most stories require. And from that incident, it causes their mentality to shift gradually over time. And then maybe right as they're about to learn the lesson completely, they have to sacrifice their life to save a child. They know that they have to remove themselves from the equation. And by that point, we don't want them to necessarily do it, but it's necessary. It's necessary for the sake of the character arc, because otherwise, they're just going to be lingering around. I mean, we've seen this problem with Morgan time and time again. Is he clear Morgan, or is he all life is precious Morgan? And you can't keep flip-flopping back and forth because people already know the pattern. They just go, oh, he flip-flopped again. He's just going to do it again. It's just a matter of time as to when he does it, but he will do it. And it gets super predictable, and you don't want that. So making a villain a hero can be very unpredictable, but it has to be resolved. It has to end at some point. You just can't keep going forward with no direction in mind and go, well, we'll figure it out when we get there. No. That's not how stories work. Stories, when you write them, not as we watch them, when you write them, have to have a beginning, a middle, and end. They have to have a start point, an inciting incident, a climax, and eventually a resolution. And then they're done. You don't go start, middle, start, end, start, middle, start again, start again, middle again. That would drive you crazy. Imagine any other show doing that with their characters, flipping them back and forth between villain and hero, between Crazy Morgan and Normal Morgan, between Villain Negan and Sweet Uncle Negan, okay? It would drive you bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, I'm all over the place with this one. I don't know. I like Negan better as a villain, but here's the thing. Too little, too late. If we're talking about the Dead City stuff, I've seen a few episodes. I'm going to review it. Not this week, but probably next week I might start reviewing it. And I'm not a fan of where it is necessarily going or where it has gone so far. It just kind of seems like we're rehashing a story and we're acting as if the last story didn't even happen, or we're just kind of sweeping things under the rug that just narratively don't make any sense anymore, and it's our fault because they don't make any sense. And by our fault, I mean the writer's fault. It's just, I don't know. It's a confusing situation, but bottom line, I feel Negan is far more compelling as a villain. And once he's completed his arc, you're done. Move along. I thought the part in season 9 with Negan when he rescued Judith during like the blizzard or whatever, if he had gotten bit during that and died protecting Judith, then whenever Rick comes back at some point, somebody tells him, like, well, Judith almost died, or we lost her in a blizzard, and for a second he's worried, and he just goes like, who found her? How'd she make it out of that? And someone could just go, Negan saved her. What? No. And it's like, listen, we had to evacuate. All of Alexandria was uninhabitable, so we took him with us. She got separated, things went down, but bottom line is he saved her. He could have just let her die, but he didn't. And then Carl's goals of, there's got to be something after, there's the proof. There's the proof in the pudding. You save this guy, and then later on, after learning his lesson, the only time he strays away from the pack is to save your cub. And he sacrificed himself for it. Way more impact. But obviously, if you have plans of doing spin-offs and stuff like that, then it doesn't really matter. If that's the case, then you should just have him be a villain to the end. And then the spin-off is about him changing his ways. But to have him change his ways and then revert back is just silly, okay? It's like, we've already seen this for seasons. We don't need it. We don't need more and more seasons of wish-washy writing. If you're going to have him flip, have a good reason. But they haven't shown that, okay? They haven't proven that there's a good reason for it yet. They're just kind of doing it. Enough about that. Negan is better as a villain, okay? Maybe fix the fucking speeches, okay? Give him something important to say. Don't just let him talk for the sake of talking. When characters speak, have their words matter. Now let me get the Daryl Dixon trailer queued up. Here we go. I'm going to try to... Hold on, there we go. I'm going to put it on the screen, maybe like right here, just so you can see kind of what I'm reacting to. Or I'll put it right over my face. I don't know. It depends on how I edit this. Enjoy. Daryl Dixon trailer.
My name's Daryl Dixon. I come from a place called the Commonwealth. It's in America.
Okay.
I went out looking for something, and all I found was trouble.
Okay. Who in the hell is he talking to?
Who you talking to?
Who's he talking to?
Who you talking to?
Do the writers not know how walkie-talkies work? Okay, like, for the most part, when you use a walkie-talkie, you'll know within seconds if anybody's even in range. Okay?
All right, we're rolling. Here we go. And action.
Also, how are they still charging them? How do they run? Because keep in mind, people, the technology of the show was supposed to stop at 2010. So there's no solar panels being used, no solar walkie-talkies. I mean, like, there might be some of that, like when we were back in Alexandria for homes, but for portable devices, it ain't happening. It wasn't a common occurrence then. I also just don't understand why we can't see the characters divulge information or communicate in ways that aren't them talking over walkie-talkies.
Okay, roll, please. We're rolling.
Rolling.
That feels so lazy, okay? Maybe it's not. Contextually, maybe it's not. But going just off the trailer, I have to assume that it just is out of the blue that he starts talking. Now, granted, they could be in this trailer. He could be talking to somebody and they're asking him questions and they're just playing his answers.
My name's Daryl Dixon. I come from a place called the Commonwealth. No, I didn't have breakfast this morning. No. No, man, no. Don't worry about how I charge this. Walkie-talkie, man.
That could be it. And they're just cutting it in such a way that it's just Daryl focused. That very well could be what it is. So I'm going to leave a little bit of leeway here. But we could see him journaling. There could just be narration over it because it's a new show and you can just have a different editing style. You know what I mean? And have Martin Scorsese-esque narration over the whole thing and have freeze frames and all that stuff. Why the hell not? I mean, if you're going to make a new show, really make it a new show. Just whatever. And I heard that Norman Reedus even said that, like, Daryl Dixon in France is just a completely different vibe than the main show and way different than Dead City. And I hope so. I really hope so. I hope that it is surprisingly good. I hope it is. I really hope it is. Please do not disappoint us again. Please. There's only... How much heartbreak can I take?
How much more betrayal can I take?
All right, he's still talking to the walkie-talkie. He's got it like this. Here we go.
If I don't make it...
Oh, here's another thing.
I was looking for something. All I found was trouble.
That's not how a guy like Daryl would speak. I'm just telling you right now. I'm sorry. I live in Oklahoma. I've heard plenty of people in the Midwest and in the South speak. This isn't how they speak. They do not speak like they're having an existential crisis all the time. It's just not how they talk. I don't know what this is. Why does everything have to be so, like, ephemeral, up in the air, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. It just, you know, they're one of us, they're not one of us, but we ain't them, and they ain't us. Like, it's just like, why can't you just finish thoughts? Finish a thought. Have a thought, finish it. Or don't have a thought and don't say anything. Stop this in-between crap. If you hear my stomach growl, just pretend it's a walker coming in on frame and it ups the production value. Otherwise, you shush. You shush. I don't know. By the way, if this isn't in focus, give me a break, you guys. It's a podcast.
If I don't make it back, I want them to know I tried.
That seems awfully dour and sad and not in character with Daryl. Now, maybe Norman Reedus wanted to explore greater depth to the Daryl character, especially now being the official star, official, leading man of his own show. Maybe he's just like, I really want to show what I can do.
If I don't make it back, tell people I tried.
That's so not him, man. You know what I mean? We've seen him say shit like that before, but it was like,
listen here, Olive Oil. I was out there looking for that little girl every single day. So don't you tell me about getting my hands dirty.
okay. But he wasn't going like,
Man, I tried. But I done failed.
you know what I mean? Like he had one moment where he went,
Man, that's on me.
you know what I mean? While he was crying in Beth's arms or whatever. This isn't my Daryl. Hashtag not my Daryl.
Hell, I'm still trying.
Okay. He's walking. Found himself a Morgan staff, I swear to God, if they have him do that shit. Oh, he's using it to walk. I don't mind the aesthetic so far. Haven't seen him in France proper, like he's not in Paris. He's out in the countryside. This is very Lord of the Rings. It's very Lord of the Rings. Why? What am I supposed to break down? Here we go again. Drone shot. I'm going to pause it really quick while he's walking with his staff. Why is he still wearing like a knapsack? Like, why is he still wearing a trash bag? He just washed up on shore. Do they only wear trash bags in France? Is France just like Georgia when he's in the swamp? Did he go straight from fishing in the swamp to across the Atlantic to France and the English Channel? Like, I don't understand. People are gonna, probably chew me out in the comments and just go like, "Hey man, he knows what he's doing." It's like, he's a character. Somebody wrote this. Okay? I love Norman Reedus, and I love him as Daryl, okay? I want this show to be good. I really do. I just don't know what to expect from this. I just want him to be speaking French at some point in Daryl grunts. Like I did on TikTok. It blew up on TikTok. Some of you might be watching this, and you watched my video of Daryl speaking French blow up on TikTok.
Bonjour. Désolé. Je ne parle pas français. Quoi?
All right. He's walking. He's at the end of the walkway. Close up on his face. Wait. Go back. I'm going back. Something on the wall. Let's see. I don't know what that said. I'll do some research. Walking up to what looks like Terminus, but in France. Daryl Dixon coming this fall. There was another one. We're going to look for the other one. I can't skip past this bullshit. Enough with the fucking ads, YouTube. The fuck's the matter with you? Come on. YouTube, Daryl Dixon. Teaser clip.
Mate.
What? What the fuck was that? Daryl Dixon teaser clip. YouTube, Daryl Dixon show. What the fuck was that? I just watched that one. This one says tease. I'm worried about it. Here, this one has nuns. All right, Daryl's okay. There's some implements on a table. Looks like nuns. Like a monastery. Oh, he just got like ironed. Like scolded. Okay, so trying to break that down. Okay, clearly he has a long journey that we're going to have to deal with for the first fucking episode. So the whole first episode, I swear to you, the first episode better not be him wandering from like the furthest west coast of France all the way to Paris. Please don't do that. Please do not start off so boring. Don't try to set it up like that. People have an image of Paris in their head and France in their head. That's how you've advertised it. Him in front of the Eiffel Tower. Get to the point or hit the bricks. Okay? I can't wait for him to be wearing like mock turtlenecks and smoking cigarettes that are in like the little, breakfast at Tiffany's. You imagine I'm just going, my name's Daryl Dixon. Come from a place called the Commonwealth. Get over there. Alright? Yeah. I want to see him speaking French. I want to see him in an interesting outfit. I'm thinking maybe black leather to start, but you know what we can do with a long black sleeve. You know what? He looks super French in the end of season 10 or the start of season 11. He had like a long sleeve black shirt and he was always standing like this. He's going. Yeah, we got it. All right. I'll talk to Mercer. Like he looked cool as shit there. Have him look like that. Have them cut his hair. Have them cut his hair. Change his look. You have to change his look. Give him some cool French cut. You know what I mean? And make it part of the show where it's like they hold him down and they chop off his hair and they don't even have like a barber. They're just taking a knife to it. I hope they do. Okay? I hope they do. My first impressions of this are that even though it's supposed to take place in France, it still looks like it's kind of done on the cheap side, and I don't like that. The only reason I'd be okay with that is if you were saving the money for good actors, better writers, or you're saving it for big, grand events that happen later on in the show that we're not privy to right now. But if you don't have that, I have no idea why it's looking this cheap. And something that drives me a little crazy and that would have been nice to see them bring back was that The Walking Dead, for like the first 7 or 8 seasons, was shot on film. And it had a wonderful grain to it and looked very lived in, and it kind of had this timeless look to it. But the last 2 seasons, in particular, the COVID era, they have this digital gloss where it looks like I could have filmed it. Like, to where I know what camera they're using. I'm like, oh, they shot that on a Sony. They shot that on a Red. They shot that on a Panasonic. You know what I mean? Or, sorry, a Panavision, filmed a digital or something like that. I didn't like it. It was, it almost kind of looked like if you went from filming it on film to having like a fisheye lens or something like that. I didn't really dig the look. I thought it looked very, very cheap. It made it look like they were shooting an indie film instead of a full-fledged TV show. And they're doing it here, and it's upsetting because those drone shots, I hate to say it, they didn't look very good. Okay, I've seen a lot of amazing drone work, and maybe they're saving some of the really beautiful vistas for the show. But here's the thing, in the trailer, especially to a spinoff that a lot of people really didn't want at first, aside from the Daryl fanboys and girls, who are just Daryl Dixon Completists and Norman Reedus Completists. That's what they should be called. Holy shit, Reedus Completists. That is the name of this episode right now. Reedus Completists. That sounds like a spell. I'm going to cast a spell. Hold on. Let me... You can't stop me, Daryl. Reedus Completists! Reedus Completists! Yeah! You imagine Daryl and Harry Potter?
Leviosa. Alright. Avada Kedavra. Avada Kedavra? Huh? Man, listen here, Hermione. Man, listen here, Trash Panda.
Calling Hermione a trash panda. Shit! I give up. I'm not meant for the wizarding world.
I never was.
I liked the teaser with the nuns more. Whenever they do an official trailer, they need to try to tell it without narration, aside from maybe a little bit about how he got there, but a lot of that needs to be shown. Good storytelling, I really do feel, especially in a show like The Walking Dead or any kind of Walking Dead universe, it's a matter of showing and not saying. You know what I mean? We didn't know what Dr. Jenner said to Rick until like halfway through the second season. You know what I mean? But we still knew that something was said, and we had to kind of surmise what he might have mentioned. And when we found out, we were all kind of wrong. Unless, of course, you read the comic books and you know. But if you hadn't, and The Walking Dead, like for me, was brand new to you, and you hadn't read the comics at the time, that was jaw-dropping information. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I want it to be good so badly. Okay? I really do. I don't want to just watch shows because they are like stamped with a company that I love. Okay? Just because it's AMC doesn't mean it's going to be amazing. Just because it says Walking Dead doesn't mean that everything Walking Dead is fucking perfect. It's far from that. The main show isn't perfect, so of course the spin-offs won't be perfect. They already aren't. They already are not. Okay? I will say this. The thing that gives me a little bit of hope about the Daryl Dixon show is that Norman Reedus, self-admittedly, wouldn't do it if he didn't think that there was something worth exploring there or something that he could learn from as an actor. Because he told John Bernthal on his podcast, Real Ones, you know, I'm still very much learning because I didn't have any training. I mean, I was just kind of like, I was a model and I kind of just fell into this stuff. And so I have a lot to learn, and I learn from the people I'm around and who I'm exposed to and everything like that. And hopefully, like, new opportunities will bring new lessons and I can grow as a person and as an actor. It was a very well thought out thing to say. And that gives me hope because I'm hoping that he got exactly what he was searching for. And I hope that we get to enjoy seeing that search play out. That's what I hope. It's not necessarily that Daryl would be, you know, the new Daryl show would be fantastic just because it has Daryl in it. But it has to have something to get Norman Reedus to agree to do it in the first place. So that gives me a little tinge of hope, just a little. I'm not going to get too excited about it. I'm sorry. And if AMC or any of those people are watching, listen. I love The Walking Dead, but you got problems. And I want to be in your shows so badly. I wanted to be in one of these spinoffs so desperately, but I'm just trying to give you honest feedback. What do you want from me? Do you just want people to just love it, you know, mindlessly? If we encourage bad writing, then bad writing is what we'll get. If you don't stick up for yourself as a fan or as a person, then people will walk all over you, and they will shove shit down your throat or put their dicks down your throat, and you will thank them for it. But that's not how I am. So, I am malleable in my opinions. Prove me wrong. Please. Have an amazing show. Have an amazing show that I go week to week and I review because I just can't get enough of that shit. Please don't have a show that I watch 2 episodes and I go, I can't take it anymore.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I don't want to be that guy. Don't make me be that guy. You guys have written, at least some of you have written, I don't know who of you, but some of you in that staff have written quality material. I know you have. So bring your fucking A game. You don't get any goodwill. You don't get goodwill from me from the main show. You just don't. You earn it right now. New show. Starting fresh. You can start at 100%. And every time you fuck up, I'm taking points off. Okay? But you know what? You started out at 100% on the last show, too. It's as good as I got. It's either start at 100% or start at a 0 and work your way up and see what you earn. But you already got an A. You got an A. Can you maintain? That's all you got to do. Maintain. We talked about this in the last episode. Maintain excellence. That's what I want from you. Please deliver us that. If there is more stuff about this show that comes out that is interesting and worthy of talking about, then I will cover it. I'm looking forward to that. I know most likely after editing this episode is not very long, but hey, I really appreciate you guys watching here on the Walking David program. I'm your host, David Grayson. Please remember to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more Walking Dead content. I love putting these podcasts out for you guys. I'm excited that we finally started getting into it, and it looks like we're aiming for a once every 2 weeks kind of schedule. That seems to kind of be what I can manage at this point in time. But hey, with the new strikes going on, with the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strike, I'm going to have a lot more free time. So, who knows what we can do. Anyways,
I appreciate you watching this. Now, hit that like, subscribe. All right? Man, listen here, Olive Oil. I was out there watching every Walking David episode every single time. So don't you tell me about getting my hands dirty. You're simply the best. Better than all the vests. You're better than anyone. Maybe even you. Alright?
Whoa, Black Betty, blam-a-lam. Whoa, Black Betty, blam-a-lam.
My name's David Grayson. I run a YouTube channel called The Walking David. It's in America. I went looking for something. Found nothing but trouble. Hate comments.
Sounds like Marge.
Oh, Daryl. What the hell is Daryl doing?
The lighting's bad. The lighting is bad. The lighting is weird. I couldn't get the lighting right. We'll get it better the next time. Might be back to the old fucking wall. Wicka, 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 wicka. What's going on, people? It's the Walking David again. You'll have to forgive the fact that I am A, sunburnt, B, wearing a different shirt, and the light color has changed. I had to add this to the end of the podcast because I just saw that the official Daryl Dixon trailer dropped. So I'm going to watch it, and we're going to break it down really quick. Here goes.
Not today, Zits. Mighty patch pimple patches absorb.
Not today, Zits. That's my assessment. Daryl Dixon, the official trailer. Not today, Zits.
I don't make it back. I want them to know I tried.
Trailer starts now. Interesting song choice.
My name's Daryl Dixon. I come from a place called the Commonwealth. It's in America.
See? Hold on. Pause. Pausing on the nun's face. That is exactly what I said might have been the case, that when he was on the walkie-talkie, he wasn't just doing a Morgan and saying it out into the ether like The Walking Dead likes to do. He was actually talking to somebody on the other end, listening to him.
It's Daryl Dixon. I come from a place called the Commonwealth. It's in America.
How did you come to be in France?
Bunch of bad decisions. How'd you end up here?
A bunch of good decisions. We've been waiting for you.
I'm Laurent.
You're the messenger to deliver Laurent.
L'américain.
Trouvez-le, tuez-le.
Je retrouverai. Je chercherai rien.
I know you can get him there safely. He's ready
Ready for what?
to lead the revival of humanity.
I love this song choice, actually.
Things happen. Things are changing, you know.
Maybe we're the same that way.
Oh, that's a great actress.
Broken until the world ended.
That's Shoshana from Inglourious Bastards.
If I don't make it back, I want him to know I tried. Hell, I'm still trying.
Wow, okay. Well, it looks like we have a few... Hold on. Don't spoil shit, whatever the fuck's playing next. Sorry. Solid trailer. Better... I hate using this word, but better vistas. Got a more of a France feel this time instead of just like fields, you know what I mean? In mountains that he's walking through and traversing. Better outfit, thank God. He's out of the trash bag, people. Out of the trash and into our hearts. Daryl Dixon has suspenders on for the first time in Walking Dead history. By the way, if you hear children screaming, it's my neighbor's fucking annoying grandkids. And nobody in this neighborhood knows how to parent their damn children. Not a single fucking person has told their child, hey, knock it the fuck off. You know what I mean? Or, you know, like how I grew up. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. You know what I mean? Good parenting. Speaking of bad parenting, Daryl Dixon. I like that they're calling him the American. I kind of like a little bit of a change up of how they refer to characters. That's always nice. Fear the Walking Dead sucked a bag of dicks when they started calling people by like birds' names. I got that. That's less than intelligent. Okay, very, very annoying. I like that they're referring to him as the American. That kind of gave me the good feels. It kind of excited me. You know what I got from this trailer, and I think whoever created this trailer, I edit trailers as well for like independent films, and I can really appreciate the song choice. I can appreciate what you showed and what you didn't show. Thank you for showing a little bit more of the show to where we see that there are more characters and moving pieces involved, so it doesn't just seem like Daryl is just literally dropped in France and we're just following him around. It seems like there's other pieces at play here, and that's good. Yeah, dig the song choice. Dig some of the location. Shut the fuck up, children! With your incessant joy.
My name's Daryl Dixon. Come from a place that had children that know how to shut the fuck up.
The vibe that I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted by these dumb children was I like that they're sort of almost taking a Jason Bourne approach. Like an apocalyptic Jason Bourne. I like that. I think that's a nice kind of change up. But here's the thing about these spinoffs. So far, even though I haven't reviewed Dead City, I have now watched 5 out of the 6 episodes or whatever it is. And they all feel very video game. Now, I don't know if that was necessarily the goal, but that's just how it feels. It feels like, hey, familiar characters, and you have selected a different map. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you were playing in the Georgia map, and then you were playing in the Virginia map when we branched off and we had a new DLC or something, and now you're in New York, you know? And now this feels kind of like The Walking Dead France, but it's like video game style. And, I mean, maybe they were just, maybe it feels that way just because of, Norman Reedus and his Death Stranding and all of that stuff. But I feel like it was done very intentionally to try to put the audience into Daryl's shoes, to where you feel like Daryl more than you did in any of the episodes that you did in The Walking Dead. So you're going to be seeing things a lot from his perspective. And kind of that trailer did a good job of feeling very visceral. And I liked, for one, credit to you, Norman Reedus, for those shots, at least in the trailer, doing your own stunts. I'm very familiar with some of the stuntmen that work for you, or that do your stunts. And I can really appreciate the fact that you have taken your physical fitness and your stunts very, very seriously, it looks like, in this trailer. Because, listen, people, there's not enough of that. There's a lot of, in Dead City, the one thing I'll say right now is, like, the stuntman for Jeffrey Dean Morgan looks nothing like him. It just looks like he weighs 80 pounds more than him, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a skeleton. And no shade, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but I would love you to eat a sandwich. I want to feed you. Not in a sexual way, but just, in an Italian Jewish way. I want to feed you. Mangia bene. Sit down and have a nosh with me. I hope you all have enjoyed my little assessment so far of the Daryl Dixon trailer, the official trailer. If you haven't yet, please drop a like, please comment, tell me what you think about Daryl Dixon in France. Do you think that it's going to be a good show? Are there any things that you are worried about in particular? The writing, Norman Reedus' performance, some of the acting choices? Let me know. I know that most people who watch The Walking Dead, they don't consider themselves like critics, you know what I mean? But I would really like to hear other people's ideas and perspectives on what they would like to see from that show. But so far, that is a very good trailer. I would give that trailer a B+ or an A-. I really would. So, despite what I've said about not looking forward to a lot of these spinoffs, that kind of piqued my interest. That's a pretty big compliment from me. I mean, I'm backpedaling. That's good. If you could make me completely just fall in love with that spinoff, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, and here's the thing. I will say this, and as an actor who's wanted to be on The Walking Dead, that trailer made me want to be in that show. And they already have started season 2 or approved it for season 2. So fingers crossed. Let's get the Walking David killed in The Walking Dead. Come on. I want Daryl Dixon to go, shut your goddamn mouth. And then just shoot me with a bolt right in the head. And then I can officially become the Walking David. You have to kill David for him to be a walker. Right now, I'm just the living David. But let's make me walk. Also, I would be remiss if I did not address the Rick and Michonne teaser trailer. This one I'm just going to do from memory. I'm not going to watch it. I might put it on the screen. I might not. I'm not sure what I can get away with, honestly. Since it's a teaser, it might not be a problem. But it starts off with Michonne's voiceover. And she said, like, I've been out there a long time. I've been looking for somebody who I lost years ago. But things changed when I found out that he was still alive. And we get glimpses of what looks like Rick in some sort of military outfit. And then also Rick in a more casual military outfit, like, walking around fatigues or something like that from the CRM with the orange strap and the kind of, I don't know what to call it, the biohazard looking logo, the 3 rings. And he looked great. I mean, he kind of had the longer hair. I've seen in some comments saying he kind of looks like season 5 Rick in Alexandria when he's like, what, you gonna kick me out? Like when he's doing that part. And I agree. I think he looks pretty sick. And I also like the name change to The Ones Who Live. I think that's a pretty decent name. Because if we just called it, if you just came up to somebody new and you go, hey, have you seen the show The Ones Who Live? That's a decent title, okay? And if I walk up to you and I go, have you seen The Walking Dead Dead City? That sounds like I have a stutter. Have you seen Dead City? I mean, that sounds like a documentary about Johannesburg, okay? I don't know what that is, but not a fan. We could still change it. AMC, you can still change Dead City to something else. I think. What happens if they move cities? I don't know, my man. I don't know, bro. Dude. So far, we are 2 out of 3 of me actually having my interest piqued. So, good on you, AMC. I'm giving you credit where it's due. That Daryl Dixon official trailer piqued my interest, and that super tease of a trailer with Rick and Michonne, The Ones Who Live, also piqued my interest. Good change on the name. Kudos to you. And, hey, I hope I can get in one of those shows. I would love to be murdered by Rick. I would love to be murdered by Daryl. But hey, I'm SAG eligible, baby. So let's give your boy a line. You're hiring a professional actor here, not just some schmuck. So let's make it happen. Let's have my people contact your people. And by my people, I mean mainly myself. But I will be very professional in an email. Very professional. Very, very, very professional. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the little surprise addition at the very end of episode 3 of the Walking David podcast. Once again, reminder, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon so that you receive all notifications for new video content. Thanks, everybody. Drama, what did you think about the Daryl Dixon trailer? You look confused. Oh, is it that dog outside? Even that dog won't shut up, right? You're just like your old man. Angry at people making noise. Classic us. I need food.